You are listening to I Am Refocused Radio with your host, Shamaya Reed. This show is designed to inspire you to live your purpose and regain your focus. And now, here's your host, Shamaya Reed.
Hey, welcome to I Am Refocused Radio. We are here once again, and today we have another amazing guest on the show today. Today, we're going to be talking to Jennifer Smrz. She is a wellness coach and health educator, and we're going to learn all about her. She's not just a wife and a mom of two teenage boys, but she is doing great things. She's doing very inspiring things. And we're going to learn a little bit more about her today. So, Ms. Jennifer, I want to welcome you to the show and say how you're doing today.
Oh, thank you. And thank you for that that kind wording introducing me. I'm doing great. Thank you. And I really appreciate being here tonight. And
you being a coach, how did you decide that's something you wanted to do professionally? What's the background on that?
You know what? So there are many reasons that led to. First off, I've been in the fitness industry for 20 years, and started when I was a teenager, and just loved motivating and literally coaching people. And I've been able to continue to do that on a part-time basis as I, went through school and then started my career. Prior to having my boys, I was in human resources and in a generalist role, but really focusing on wellness programs at various levels within the organization. And then after having my first son, I just decided that I wanted the work-life balance. And instead of working full-time, I wanted part-time in the fitness world and part-time as a career coach. And once again, just motivating and helping people transition as they go through various jobs or maybe just starting out in their careers. So working with people, inspiring them, sharing my experience, and providing them with tools to better their lives is just something that I've been passionate about and seem to do well at it. And it just led me into my newest passion project, so to speak. It was a combination of the pandemic and my cancer diagnosis that together this was developed, and I've been just riding the waves, so to speak, and enjoying the experience as I go through it.
And I read in your bio that you had multiple surgeries and 18 months of treatment. How did you find a way to still be inspired to do what you do today and have that positive attitude?
You know what? I will be very transparent. There were days that I didn't. And through the 18 months of treatment, losing your hair, losing the energy, there definitely were days I wasn't motivated to get myself out of bed, never mind go to the hospital or take care of my family and motivate others. That said, I was in chemo for 5 months, and I was able to continue instructing for probably 7 weeks of that. And then at which time, at that point, I had lost quite a bit of weight and just my own energy. That said, I was able to keep myself in the career coach role, just working around my appointments. And I think, for myself personally, when I'm helping others and not worrying and sitting in a room waiting for a doctor to call, that it in itself was something that helped me get through. And obviously they wouldn't know what I was going through at the time. So if I could help them get through an obstacle, find work, whatever the case may be with each individual, that in itself was inspiring for me. And it gave me a purpose outside of going to the hospital daily. What has always been a part of me, I guess, because I'm in the fitness world, is moving my body. So sure, there was days I couldn't do my normal weight workout, but I'm a firm believer in getting outside every day. We do have a dog, so she forces me to go out on the cold days or the rainy days. But I really, having gone through what I have, I think nature is our best medicine, and it's free. So those are some of the strategies I used on the days that I didn't feel as motivated as normal.
And with your experience in the fitness industry and you helping people to learn how to live a healthier lifestyle, and also doing holistic lifestyle living, where does one person start? So if someone comes to you and they say, okay, I'm ready to start doing this, what's the first step that they have to do in order for them to be ready to join this journey?
Well, you know what, if you had asked me maybe 10 years ago, my response would be, and it still is in regards to, find something that you enjoy doing. When I'd be teaching my classes, or years ago when I was a personal trainer, people would be like, oh, how do I get those arms? Or how do I, how do I get this? And for me, it wasn't saying, like, I personally enjoy weightlifting and I enjoy working out. But if someone doesn't, telling them to get on a treadmill or telling them to do a fitness class, that might be torture. So they have to find something that they're going to enjoy. So that's the first thing. And for someone just starting out that's, never moved their body, it might just be, dancing around your home, something very small. It could be walking around your home as opposed to, walking around the block. You've got to start at where you're at, not compare yourself to others. What I have learned in the last 10 years, as I've matured and gone through my own personal experiences, I've really realized the importance of holistic living. And for me, that means there's so many components involved. It's not just moving your body and finding out, what activities you like, but it's drinking enough water. It's getting enough sleep. I really feel that many of us are deprived and not getting enough sleep. So that's key. I've incorporated a breathing exercise that I do every morning before I wake up. It's just a deep belly breath that I coach when I'm doing a meditation. I use it each morning just to relax me. I do a quick scan, noticing, where I might be holding tension, and it just makes me calm and puts me in a positive note to start my day. But that can be used. I mean, we all breathe. That technique can be used. We might be waiting in line or frustrated in traffic, and just taking a few deep belly breaths. To me, it's been amazing in getting through those anxious moments or when I'm feeling overwhelmed. Self-care. I mean, that again can mean something different for everyone. It might be watching TV. It might be listening to a podcast. It might be going out with friends. But I think too many of us are workaholics, or, if we're parents, we're always consumed with our children's activities, and we don't take the time for ourselves. So self-care and, learning how to cope with life and the stresses that come up every day. I think all of these components, eating a well, nutrient-rich diet, putting all these pieces together is key, yet not just doing one. And I think many people just may focus on only half of the components, and they're missing out on, really being vibrant and thriving through a healthy lifestyle.
And once again, you've been listening to I Am Refocused Radio, talking to Jennifer Smrz. She is wellness coach and health educator. When you are dealing with a client, someone coming to you, how do you analyze them and see where they are and see if they're a good fit for you? Or do you not have any criteria of what they should have to meet as far as making sure that they can actually work with you personally?
Yeah, you know what? And I mean, in terms of sort of the niche market and who I like to work for, because when I was working as a career coach, I've really worked with, whether it's entry level to high level positions, as long as someone is open to learn something new. And I know that's sometimes harder than other times, but they really just need to be open to a new perspective, into trying something new, because I think everyone can incorporate healthy habits. It's, putting in a few things in place to ensure that, whether it's reminders or if it's some, from working out, leaving your shoes in an area that you have to step over, or in terms of food, chopping things up. It's these little reminders to help us incorporate these healthy habits, as long as someone's open to that, I would never want to turn down helping someone improve their lives.
And speaking of improving their life, you have any products that you recommend to people as far as what they can use in their everyday life that can help them have an enhanced experience? Like, are there certain products that you work with?
You know what? I am partnered with a wellness company, and for your listeners, I would love to connect with them to talk more about what their situation is, maybe any health concerns or weight management, or if they are just looking to detox their home and find more natural products. My biggest thing when I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and as you mentioned, I did have 5 surgeries and had 3 tumors over the last 2.5 years. So when I learned of the 3rd tumor while still in treatment, and at that point I was 44, it wasn't in my family's history. That's when it opened my eyes to what else is going on. And I will never know what exactly caused those 3 tumors. The doctors don't know. So that's why I have since had many preventative surgeries. That said, I did enough research over the last 1.5 years to do many studies on the links between the toxins in our household products. So personally, I've used natural skincare products and a variety over the years, but they were very expensive. And I think many natural products are just, organic food or healthier food seems to be more. So I have sourced a company that offers affordable household products. They are clean and safe for our families and affordable, which again is, and they work. That's what I meant. They work. So if I would love, again, the opportunity to connect with someone just to share my experience. And by all means, I could talk about those products with them. But there are options. And I think the message is, I've always told people to, read labels on the foods. Marketing does a pretty good job on talking about refined sugars and processed foods and so forth. But there is very little education about the household products, and in the beauty industry in general, it is not regulated. So there are many dangerous ingredients that we need to be aware of. So reading the labels, or just finding brands that we know are natural and free of toxins is something that I really believe in. I've learned that it takes 26 seconds for whatever is in the air to land on your skin and get into the bloodstream. And that's where these studies have made the connection to various health ailments, whether it's cancer or mental health, asthma, lung disease. There are clear links that people have gotten sick from these products. So we just have to be education, and being aware it empowers us to make more educated decisions. And that's certainly the message that I want to share with your listeners.
And on your website, you have a statement, paving the path to your best life. With all those tools and also your mindset, how do you prioritize your time as far as making those pockets throughout the day to stay alert on your goals, so that way you're not easily distracted and get off course?
I love that. Yeah, I mean, I do. I know your listeners, most of them won't want to hear, but I do enjoy working out. So for me, that comes natural, and I like to do it in the morning. So when I wake up, I may check a few emails. I've got my coffee, but a reminder comes up either to take my dog for a walk or work out. I am in front of my screen a lot more than I ever was years in the past. So I literally do have these reminders in my calendar that will pop up. Because whether we're working from home or whatever the case may be, we're spending a lot of time on electronics. So, every hour or every couple hours, standing up, moving around. For me, I need that reminder to pop up, but that helps me ensure that I am moving, that I am getting outside and going for that walk. that I am breaking and actually eating lunch or eating the meal not in front of my screen, like taking that time, eating it mindfully in whatever setting is comfortable for everyone, but trying to get away from the screen. So just sort of separating the activities, and again, for myself, scheduling that time in the calendar so I actually get those reminders, and having a set time at the end of the day where you're done. Easier said than done. I know we have phones and we're checking all the time, but I think for mental health, for stress management, having, start time and end times and these reminders are what helps me get through.
And speaking of stress management, that's a big one, especially in these current times with a lot of people being more flexible and doing things to make things continue to flow. What are some of the things that you personally practice to keep your stress level as low as possible?
Yeah. And again, I mean, transparency, it works better on some days, but that starting my day with the 5 deep belly breaths, that in itself has truly done wonders for me. On a daily basis, even when I'm mentally feeling great, but on those days when I was waiting for, the doctor to call, or, my kids, I've got 2 teenagers, so I'm stressing over something with them. When I start that morning with that deep belly breath, and again, I do use it throughout the day, that's been amazing. When I get outside in nature, and I know we all may live in various areas, but I do try to get outside. I think the fresh air is really key. The vitamin D, and depending on people's schedule, even getting out for 5 minutes is better than none. So that's something that I make sure I do every day. In terms of when I'm in a stressful situation, I, in the past, was a worrier, and I would go sleepless nights worrying about stuff. And I've learned over the years to truly, I call it the stop method. I mean, it's got various acronyms, but essentially that's what it's doing. You're stopping yourself right where you're at. Depending on the situation, you may have to actually remove yourself, but hopefully, it's not a dangerous situation. You stop in the spot, you take a few deep breaths, observe what's going on, what is in your control, and then proceed. And I know for myself, I would just continue worrying. And even if it was something that I had no control over, I would let it consume me. Then I wasn't sleeping. And then that led into all sorts of, horrible mental health situations. So realizing that if it's not within your control, truly move on. Easier said than done, but just, either try to come up with a solution or move on. The self-care I sort of talked about, for me, I'm a very social person. So obviously the pandemic posed a huge drift in seeing friends and family, but I then figured out Zoom. I was never on Zoom before the pandemic, or getting on the phone. I mean, we all hopefully have access to both those things. So for me, that was important. For other people, it's, reading or just whatever fuels you. I think ensure that you're doing that on a daily basis, because we can all be overworked, get consumed with our kids' activities or family. But if we don't take time for ourselves, I think that, detrimentally down the line, where we're going to find ourselves in tougher states. So just deal with it daily. And hopefully by incorporating some of these habits or strategies, we get through life on a positive note.
Once again, listen to I Am Refocused Radio, talking to Jennifer Smrz. She is wellness coach and a health educator. When you see your own personal life and you see the people that you get the chance to work with to help better their life, what are some of the things that you notice as far as going back to friends and family and just making those times for creating moments versus just going through the routine daily?
Yeah, you know what? I think so many people just go through the motions, right? And I know for myself, saying no to people was the hardest thing. either always wanted to say yes, whether it's people inviting me out or people needing help. And I think you can, again, that's part of the stress management. You can overwhelm yourself. So I think realizing what your limits are, realizing what makes you happy, and that you can't be, you can't be there for everyone. People that are toxic to you, or people that, are bringing you down, you've got to make sure that you're in the proper mindset. You have to really focus on yourself. And for a while, I thought I was selfish if I would ever think that way. But over the years, I've realized, it's making me a better person. So I think people just have to stop comparing, and they have to look at their lives and decide what's most important to them. Because oftentimes what is most important, for myself, it's family time and, getting out in nature. And that's where we spend the least amount of time. So I think people just have to look at their lives, look at what fills their buckets. And I don't mean not work, but find that balance that is going to, that's going to work for you.
And you being a business owner, entrepreneur, you had the honor of going through the roller coaster of the business world. What's some of the exciting things you see as far as your progress and your growth being an entrepreneur?
Yeah, you know what? I honestly, when I get, whether it's a text or someone phones me that they, either they accomplished their goal, or with the wellness company I'm partnered with, if they've tried a product and it's improved their energy, or, they're no longer in pain, or they can now, clean their home without having to open the window or feel itchy from the products and so forth. Nothing makes me feel better, whether it was my coaching clients in the career world or fitness participants, getting the feedback that something that I've introduced to someone or helped has made a positive change in someone else's life. Nothing can replace that. It's such an amazing feeling. And as you said, the entrepreneurship can have its ups and downs. And there's, days that you feel defeated, and then you get that phone call and someone saying, something positive about their experience, and it just lifts you up, and it, brings you back to your why. Why am I doing this? I'm doing it because I'm passionate about helping other people and educating them on the toxins and ensuring that hopefully they don't go through the health scare that I did. So yeah, just hearing people succeed and do well is extremely rewarding for me.
And someone out there who would want to be an entrepreneur one day, it's not easy. It's the opposite of easy. But if you're passionate about it, it's worth it. How important is it to be passionate about what you're trying to do, whether it's a career or just being an entrepreneur?
You know what? I personally feel it is so key. In terms of the entrepreneur, if I didn't have passion for what I'm doing and helping others, then you know what, I would have quit a long time ago, honestly, because there's many days that, you think you're going to get a client, or you think that someone's going to buy the products, and they seem keen, and then they either ghost you or they decide that it's not for them, which is certainly absolutely fine. But you go through this up and down emotion. But when I come back to my passion about why I do it and how I believe in what I'm doing, that just motivates me to move forward. But, even if it's another job, or if it's a relationship, or if it's you volunteering, whatever you're doing, if you're not passionate about it, our life is precious. If anything, through this cancer diagnosis, I've realized every moment is precious. And if you're not doing what you love, and again, I'm not trying to downplay. I realize we need to work, we need to make money. But if you're not really passionate about what you're doing, that to me is very sad. And hopefully, if you're not passionate about your job, then you find volunteer work, or you find a hobby or something else that you can be passionate about. Because we all deserve to be happy, and yeah, it's what wakes me up every day, having these things that I love to do that keeps me going.
You've been listening to I Am Refocused Radio. We've been talking to Jennifer Smrz, the wellness coach and health educator. Someone listening right now and they want to get in contact with you. What's the best way they can find you?
You know what? I do have my website. I was hoping I bought a domain and then I didn't end up going that route. So I did, it's a Wix website, which hopefully, I don't know if we can send that out to your audience. I'm also on LinkedIn and Facebook, or they can send me an email to Jen Smrz. It's JENNSMRZ @gmail.com.
Awesome. We'll put that link in the description for the website. It is jensmrz.wix.com. And once again, I want to say thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule talking to us today.
Oh, again, it was my pleasure, and I just really appreciate the time.
I Am Refocused Radio is brought to you by 404 Star and Holy Crab. 404 Star is a family-owned Asian restaurant in San Antonio, Texas. We have been a local favorite for Asian cuisine for over 10 years. With nothing but full smiles and fast service, you'll be leaving satisfied. Come on in for some authentic Vietnamese food. Holy Crab is one-of-a-kind Cajun Creole-style seafood restaurant located in Universal City, Texas. We offer traditional seafood items as well as chicken and steak. We also offer seafood boils. Come give us a try. You won't be disappointed. You can find these two eateries in Universal City, Texas at 2921 Pat Booker Road.